day experience, my friend. Every day.
Out of bounds the call. Off Gordon Hayward. Westbrook. Lets it fly from long range. His first effort off the mark. To Jaylen Brown. Jay, for once, Trader Danny was Danny Ainge. Celtics didn't do that much, but Eastern Conference didn't see much change either.
Yeah, they didn't need to do anything if you're the Boston Celtics. You already have all the pieces to the puzzle. There's no doubt about it. The Celtics are now in the driver's seat.
Celtics have it. Steven Adams tips it. Terrific hustle. Ball stays in play. Horford shot won't fall. Thunder reclaim it. To Westbrook. Oh, emphatic slam. This is already getting out of hand.
Coaching strategy 101. You probably want to utilize a timeout to disrupt the pace of this other team. This game is starting to get out of hand quick and early.
Kyrie Irving missed his first. That one goes. Simply put, when the ball's in Kyrie Irving's hands, magic could happen.
It's poetry in motion, and it's a situation in which the ball is attached to his body. He has it on a yo-yo. He can put the ball and dangle the ball out there for other people to think they have a chance, and in their mind they do, but in Kyrie's mind, the game is over.
George. Has a chance. Jumper's good. Jay, when you break down Paul George, where is he at his best?
He needs to be engaged. He needs to have the ball in his hands. He needs to be needed. And that's the biggest thing for Paul George. When he's the guy offensively, he makes those clutch shots. It re-engages him defensively. And that drives him to be the best version of Paul George there is.
Paul George. Goes to the left side. To Paul George. Now Adams down low. Count it. No and one. There was some contact there.
He's been doing this for years. The physicality in which he plays. No one wants...
You don't go to bed. You don't have to go to work. Jeez, Mom, you gonna leave me by myself? It's messed up. Mama don't love me. She never loved me. She rather love a baby.
To see that, you're going to leave the game with black and blue marks all over your body.
Kyrie doesn't get the bounce. To George. Oh, Russell Westbrook. 3 for 3. That's a perfect start.
Why not? Russell Westbrook is the only guy stopping Russell Westbrook. And when he decides to put his head down and go to the rim, he's going to the rim. It's that easy.
To Westbrook. Jason Tatum pins it.
That's why a rim protector is a necessity in this game.
Oh, a whistle.
His timing was a tad bit off.
Off the penetration, almost, but no good. To Westbrook. Oh, great pass, setting up the basket.
Well, when you play for each other and not just for yourself, that's when great things happen. You essentially lose yourself in what the team is trying to accomplish. It's called unselfish basketball. And there's nothing more beautiful than rewarding your teammate with a nice pass and letting them finish for 2 or 3 points.
Thunder with the basketball. Westbrook. Pass taken away by the Celtics. To Irving. Trying to cash in. Just off the mark. George. To Adams. Big man, Steven Adams. 2 for 2. That's what you want.
There's some players out there that like the freedom of space, and then we have the anomalies. We have the players who feel comfortable being uncomfortable. And almost the physicality of the game centers them and puts them right on balance every time.
Bad pass, and the Celtics have it. To Horford. Irving. Where's the chatter? No one was even close to him.
It's all about creating space with the dribble. Once you have that gap, You can beat somebody in a variety of ways. He chose the dagger with the three.
Count the basket inside.
They're going to have to find answers defensively and quickly because he's carving them up in the first quarter.
Kyrie Irving, now 4 for 9. Jay, you've known Kyrie Irving since he was a young man growing up in New Jersey. He's overcome a lot of obstacles, chief among them staying healthy and on the floor.
Yeah, Ed, he's been battling injuries since his freshman year of college, but the beautiful thing about Kyrie Irving is that he always loves the big stage. Making the game-winning shot in Game 7, he will continue to do so when he surrounds himself with great, inspiring leaders with the likes of such Kobe Bryant.
Jay, without question, one of the biggest moments of the NBA offseason, Paul George stays in OKC.
I think him and Russ work well off each other. Playoff P wants to be Playoff P all the time. Who better to bring that out of you than the Beast Boy?
Irving into the front court. 9-point margin. He made his first effort, but not that time. To Westbrook. Beyond the arc for three. He made his first effort, but not that time. To Irving. Nice pass to set things up. Whoa, Jaylen Brown above the rim. They have set the tone in this one.
I love when I see offenses come out in beast mode. You attack that paint, you get to the rim, inevitably the floor will open up for you to knock down some threes.
Give him 2 points. High percentage.
You see, you can't actually get mesmerized by the ball. You actually have to focus on the dribbler's belly button. I know that may sound cheesy, but trust me, he can't go anywhere without his core.
And he misses that one free throw. Coach is going to shift gears and adjust his matchups. To Rozier. Here's a chance from long range, and it's rebounded by Adams. To Westbrook with a drop step. From the painted area, won't go down. Hayward, great dish to set it up. Robertson's there to get the rebound. Paul George. Down low for Aldridge. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
Contact on a drive can be a beautiful thing. Making those tough shots can really help you build a mental advantage over your defender.
Now pass taken away by the Thunder. Oh, Russell Westbrook. He's unconscious, 75%.
You know, from a point guard perspective, one of the things that I learned when I played in the league was that the more I was willing to give the ball up, the harder other players were willing to run to their spots. The harder the bigs were running to the rim. The harder the three-point shooters were running to the three-point line because they knew they could be active recipients. And when they caught the ball, they knew exactly what to do with it.
Going to launch beyond the arc. To Westbrook. Russell Westbrook rocking the rim. Jay, they've had no answer for this guy.
He's been on fire this first quarter. That's the way you take it right to your opponent. You attack right out of the gate.
Hayward. Those shots, Jay, have been few and far between in what has been an uneasy first quarter.
And Ed, sometimes that's all you need. Just get one or two to fall. Find the rhythm, find the rhyme. You got plenty of time.
Paul George can't get that one to go. Defense all over him. To Rozier. Not that. And a putback slam.
Leadership's greatest values occur in between the lines and not necessarily in the box score. And that's the type of leader that Al Horford is. He's the first all-star free agent to choose Boston in decades. And let me tell you this, the legacy of greatness runs deep in the family. His father, Tito Horford, was the first Dominican basketball player to ever play in the league, which goes to show you why Al has such a great feel for the game.
Lets it fly from beyond the arc. Can't connect. Brown with it up top. Down 8. To Rozier. Hayward. Missed it. Westbrook with it. He'll run the offense. Layup's good. Those are the types of shots you always strive for.
This comes down to great execution both on the offensive and defensive end of the floor. Let's see if they can carry this into the second quarter.
And that'll get out of bounds. Last touch by the Thunder. Both coaches dipping into their reserves. Changes coming onto the floor.
Number 9, Jeremy Grant.
Steven Adams able to recover with the block. That's his third block this evening. Knocked loose. Picked up by the Thunder. And this will get out of bounds. Last touch by Westbrook. Knocked loose. Thunder have it. Westbrook. Converts in the paint. Nice finish at the rim.
Well, they have such great flow to their offense this evening. The ball isn't sticking to one player individually. It's moving around the perimeter, and it's zipping. They're playing with a special cohesiveness.
To Marcus Morris. Knocked loose. Picked up by the Thunder. Turnover gives them the possession. Nice pace. Sets it up and slams it down.
You never want to leave anything to chance when you attack the rim. You finish strong every time you head home.
A devastated family is searching for answers tonight after someone brought their late daughter's home during her memorial service. Albuquerque police say Erica Nielsen died in her room this evening 2 weeks ago. Then during what was supposed to be a celebration of her life, someone ransacked Nielsen's home, taking
Fires the three. Those shots today have been few and far between in what has been an uneasy first quarter.
And Ed, sometimes that's all you need. Just get one or two to fall. Find the rhythm, find the rhyme. You got plenty of time.
2 points. The assist from number 0, Russell.
Knocked loose. And that'll get out of bounds. Last touch by the Thunder. It'll stay Celtic basketball. We have both squads set to make some moves right now.
Subbing in for the Oklahoma City Thunder, number 13, Paul George.
Irving. To Marcus Morris. Too much contact. And free throws coming.
Trust me, you want to avoid early foul trouble. Take that one as a warning.
First one goes down. So he hits the first, misses the second. Westbrook with the basketball. Up a dozen. Yes, and the foul. And a chance at 3 coming up.
People become so fixated on the hands or the arms or the strengths of the arms. I look at the legs. The strength of his legs help him power through that play. That's how you get and ones.
Yeah, that was a
Russell
good shot.
Westbrook trying to cash in on a three-point play. A career 81% free throw shooter. Free throw perfect for Westbrook. And the Thunder add on to their lead. Irving brings the ball up court to Marcus Morris. For 3, he made his first effort, but not that time. To Paul George. Has a look. Shot by George. Misses.
You see, this is something that everybody has, but some people choose to use it or not. I'm glad you choose to use effort on getting around those screens.
Into the front court, it's Irving. Counting down towards 1 minute to play here in the opening quarter. And finishes strong.
I see the easy dunk, but what I don't see is energy. Scream, do something. Get yourself emotionally involved in the game.
Stuffs it down with authority.
Whew, I don't think anyone saw this one coming, but it looks like they're trying to send a message. Look into their eyes. They're laser focused. They're playing as if this game is tied.
Kyrie across the timeline. His guys down big. Knocked loose. Adams. And count the basket inside.
Strong finish. That's what you need, regardless of contact, focusing on the rim.
The ball in the hands of Kyrie Irving. To Horford. Irving. And Adams able to clear the board. Westbrook across the timeline. His guys holding the big lead. Russell Westbrook powers it through. Jay, this is getting scary fast.
If you're the defense, you have to deny him the ball. Maybe throw a box and one. Maybe throw a zone. Maybe even throw the kitchen sink because he's putting on a show in the first quarter.
Irving with the basketball. Looking to make something happen. Knocked loose. Thunder have it. Big man, Steven Adams. That's now 4. He hasn't missed.
The assist from number 0, Russell Westbrook.
Knocks it down from mid-range.
The assist from number 11, Kyrie Irving.
Deep 3 at the buzzer. So we're through 1 at Chesapeake Energy Arena. The Thunder on top. Jay and I are back to Oklahoma City right after this. You're watching the NBA on EA Sports. Ed Cohen, Jay Williams with you as we get things started here in the second quarter. Goes to the right side. Rozier. That's off the side of the rim. Short. Shemi Ojale snatching it out of the air. Out of bounds. Last touch by the Celtics. Westbrook. Buries it on the catch and shoot.
Ed, let me tell you how this one goes. It ain't no fun if the homies can't have some. Everyone's getting a piece of the rock tonight.
Ball's controlled by Boston. To Rozier. Knocked loose. Picked up by the Thunder.
Come on, let's dig in. Let's really build this lead.
And he finishes at the rim.
When the ball's in his hands, we all knew what was going to happen.
Rozier into the front court. Down a bundle. Shot from the lane won't go.
And you hate to say this, but this is the reality of the matter. Sometimes it takes guys a little while to warm up into the game. Seems like they finally found their rhythm in the second quarter.
Oh, Jay, he commands the paint this time down.
Hand down, man down. You got to get up and contest the shot.
Shot by Hayward, no good. Tough shot and nearly a chance at a three-point play. No foul. Now the Celtics going to use a timeout as they'll talk things over here in the second quarter. Both coaches hitting the reset button. Fresh legs.
Who's doing this for?
Coming onto the floor. Patrick Patterson with a piece.
This game is all about playing mind tricks on people. The offense is more worried about getting their shot blocked than they are about actually making the shot.
Jay, it's Celtics last year, no Gordon Hayward, no Kyrie Irving. Now they have a load of expectations entering this year.
Now you think about when you have Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, who really came into his own in the playoffs, Terry Rozier, who became Scary Terry, probably a guy that can start in the league but now has to play a backup role behind Kyrie. This team is locked and loaded, and they're the favorite to win the East.
Boston with the basketball. Irving to Hayward. Irving. And the rebound taken in by OKC. Across midcourt, it's Schroeder. His guys hold a commanding lead. The pass set it all up.
Big shout out to the athletic trainer for this team. It's obvious you've been doing all the preparation required of your team in the weight room in the offseason. Flex on them a little bit.
Here comes the screen. Irving has a chance. Wide open look, won't go.
I don't know why he rushed that shot. He was wide open. Take your time.
To Schroeder. Oh, Dennis Schroeder. He's finally on the board. Makes his first shot.
And attention to detail is everything for a professional scorer like that. Actually getting it done the hard way there.
Irving driving right to the basket. From the outside, no good.
See, I don't like that shot right there. Pass the ball, get the defense moving, maybe set a hard screen, roll to the rim, see the ball go in a couple of times before you settle for a mid-range jumper that's contested.
Timeout Boston, as they'll take a moment to go over things here in the second quarter. Changes coming from both sides right now. And he's fouled, and he earns a trip to the line.
You got to know your personnel. That's not someone you want to send to the line for a free two.
Kyrie Irving at the line for 2 shots. He's struggled so far. And hits the first free throw. And he makes them both. The Monster stuff. This is becoming a runaway.
They're getting to the rim at will, probably because we're watching Matador defense. You probably want to get in the way of your defender if they keep trying to attack the rim.
Kyrie Irving controlling the offense. Andre Robertson swats it.
Blocking so many shots only gives your perimeter that much more confidence to really apply more pressure.
Oh, Dennis Schroeder, 3 for 3 in this first half.
I love when I get a chance to watch guys who can make more out of what they actually have in their arsenal. And that's who Dennis Schroeder is. For a guy who really can't shoot, he sure does put the ball in the bucket.
To Schroeder. Jumper's good.
And if you don't contest, he's knocking that down with ease.
Thunder have it.
Keep your foot on the gas, but don't get too reckless.
Got it.
Well, he finished strong because he was able to initiate the contact. When you initiate the contact first, you bounce off the defender, which balances you at the rim.
To Jaylen Brown. Fires the three. Noel with the rebound. To Schroeder. Oh, Dennis Schroeder. Can't ask for much more. He's perfect. 5 for 5 from the field. We get a whistle and a timeout as they'll get a minute to regroup and talk things over. Mixing things up. Hockey line substitutions. Both teams making changes. To Irving. And stuffs it down.
If you didn't dunk that, then we would have to talk about it.
Lays it up and in.
There are certain guys in this league that should be put on alert status 24/7 because either they're posterizing you or that attempt can still be a poster.
Tatum. So the first points for him in this first half, and he knocks it down for 3.
Yeah, they really need him to get going. Really surprised that none of his teammates have been talking to him. This is when he needs him the most. They have to uplift him, help him continue to be confident on the court.
Kyrie with the rock.
It's a 44-point game, bro.
To Horford. Nice pace, sets it up, and slams it down.
That's the intensity you need to see. Whenever a player running back on defense after a dunk like that holds the inside of his forearm, it lets you know how hard he dunked that basketball.
To Jaylen Brown. Tatum. No good. Nerlens Noel. Huge block.
You know why? I don't see anybody on the defensive end standing up out of position. I see everybody squatted down, really active with their hands. That's the mentality that will lead you to where you want to go.
Gets to the basket and scores.
That's what I'm talking about, Ed. It's that simple. Put the ball in the bucket.
Here's Irving into the front court. His guys down big. Jay, I don't know if you call that the shooter's touch, but they will take it.
Well, essentially, the touch did help the ball go in, Ed. I don't know. I might have to agree to disagree on that one.
Oh, nice find for the basket.
That's a strong finish. Regardless of contact, finishing strong is key.
Celtics have it. Sizing up the defense. Screen coming. Great feed. Sets it up. Nice finish at the rim.
And sometimes less is more. Keeping it simple is the best way.
And throws it down.
That's what I'm talking about. Nice finish. It's all business.
Irving into the front court. Looking to make something happen. 4-3. He was all over him.
And look, sometimes you don't have it going every single night. Maybe utilize yourself as a decoy and get some teammates involved with your passing.
Paul George. Tough shooting. Only 2 for 6 after that make.
Attack mode isn't a switch that you can just turn on and off. He needs to do more of that. We need to see him penetrate, get into that lane, and create.
Count the basket. 2 more points in the paint.
As my mother would say to the defender, A for effort, F for results.
Coach has seen enough. He wants some changes. New personnel onto the floor. That's a 5-second violation. Irving to Rozier from long range. Still hasn't hit from deep in the first half. No good. Whoa! What a finish!
Like my old coach used to say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's way too easy. Just keep attacking. It's easy money.
Celtics have it. To Jaylen Brown. Irving. Cleaning the off. And a putback slam.
It's so amazing when you get a chance to see a player in his own space. It's almost as if the defense doesn't exist. He can go left, he can go right, he can attack. He's playing on that court by himself.
Into the front court, it's Irving. Down a bundle. There it is, Al Horford. He's now shooting 5 for 7.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
Kyrie across the timeline. He'll run the offense. Add 2 points to the board.
It looks like he's using his ball handling to feel the game out. I know it looks like he's just playing around out there trying to get the fans going. That is true, but he's also finding his rhythm.
Ball's controlled by Boston to Irving. Great pass to set it up. Rozier buries it on the catch and shoot.
You know, from a point guard perspective, one of the things that I learned when I played in the league was that the more I was willing to give the ball up, the harder other players were willing to run to their spots. The harder the bigs were running to the rim. The harder the three-point shooters were running to the three-point line because they knew they could be active recipients. And when they caught the ball, they knew exactly what to do with it.
Irving to Rozier. Missed a wide-open look. Nothing going here on that drive. Layup goes down. Well done.
There you go. I like seeing his scoring coming from unlikely sources.
He takes it right at them and scores. You have to fill in. There.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
Shifting gears, here come some substitutions.
Number 20, Gordon Hayward. 2 minutes left in the second quarter.
Cruises inside for 2.
That boy's living his best life.
Tatum. Yes. Or in the case of the defense, not good.
But it was how he created the shot. As a defender, there's a tendency to stand up when you stare at the ball. Offensive player recognized that, continuously moved without the ball. Bang, that's how he set it up.
Count the basket, and it could have been more. No whistle.
I could see the beads of sweat forming when he had to put the ball on the ground there. You still got it, though.
Whoa, Jaylen Brown above the rim.
We call that get your money and put it in the bank.
Shot by Ferguson, off the mark.
Misses happens. Don't put your head down. Let that motivate you on the defensive end. Use it for something positive.
Tatum, it's good. Coach wants to see more from his D.
I know he's a volume shooter. I know defensively at times you have to take your lumps. Might be time to adjust the scouting report, though. Start denying him the ball.
Cashes in for 2.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
A drive baseline, but the shot won't go. Picked up by the Thunder.
Come on, let's dig in. Let's really build this lead.
Felton into the front court. His guys holding the big lead. Nice pass to set things up.
The assist from number 3.
Across the timeline, it's Rozier. His guys should be able to get the final shot. And look out. Gotta love the rim rockers.
Gotta be careful, though. Don't hang on the rim too long. You might get a tee.
Straight on 3. At the buzzer. A very one-sided first half of basketball as we are at halftime. Let's get you to our NBA Live studios in Orlando and hand it over to Jalen Rose for our EA Sports halftime report. Jalen.
The Thunder were the dominant team in that first half, without question. It was their playmaking, the way they gave each other scoring opportunities. That really impresses me. I love seeing unselfish basketball like that. The Celtics have got themselves in a bad situation that seems likely to only get worse. The way they struggle doesn't bode well for them at all. But if they've got some fight in them, we'll know right away in the third quarter. Have a look at the leading scorers for the Boston Celtics.
Game track. Bench points.
The Boston Celtics were not given a chance to relax in that opening half. Even when the starters were on the bench, the reserves were maintaining the lead and earning their playing time.
Player of the half.
Russell Westbrook and his court IQ were on display as he delivered the ball, putting his teammates in a position to score the basketball. His timing was impeccable.
Who was cold?
Forget cold. This guy will be happy to be lukewarm at this point. He can't seem to get anything going. Here we go with the top plays from the first half.
Number 2. Number 1.
And that concludes our halftime report. Thanks for joining us, and see you again after the game.
Irving brings the ball up court. To Hayward. Almost, but no good.
That's how you do it. You keep riding him to the basket, and if the refs aren't calling it, keep being physical. Keep knocking him off balance.
Whistle blows. It's an 8-second violation. Irving knocks down the 3.
Not everybody possesses this power, but wow, what court awareness.
Russell Westbrook steps into it. Rebound, Jason Tatum. Gets it in the left corner. Irving buries the 3. He's too good to leave that open.
I know the refs on the court all the time, but it doesn't mean they can see every play. Maybe defensively, grab his jersey, step on his toe, do something to kind of change up his pace.
Oh, that's 3 seconds.
Defense, let's go.
No good. Thunder with the basketball. Rebound pulled in by Hayward. Nice pass to set things up. Big finish at the rim. Now a whistle, and we're going to get a timeout from OKC as their coach wants to get a word in with his guys here in this third quarter. Second violation. Irving to Hayward. Tatum. They need something to go down. It's no good. Westbrook into the front court. His guys hold a commanding lead. And the slam. Jay, I'm surprised he had a chance to wrap him up.
Well, you're not the only one surprised. This guy is not a good free throw shooter. You never let him have an easy bucket. If anything, make him earn it at the charity stripe.
Westbrook into the front court. Looking to make something happen. 3-second count. Kyrie Irving for two. Cashes in. Someone has to get into a zip code.
Every NBA player has a superpower. His, obviously, is that depth perception, because that trajectory leads the ball to the...
Slams it home on the putback.
Ooh, shows like this separate the good players from the great ones. The good players, they have good first halves, and then they fade to black in the second. The great players, they just sustain that kind of dynamic energy throughout the entire ballgame.
Off the assist.
And I love when people are saying, well, he's not an exciting player. I don't need him to be exciting. I need him to be fundamentally sound.
Easy path to the rim.
In the paint, you need to finish just like that.
Irving with the basketball. His guys down big. Shot from the lane won't go.
Because he had no body control. You have to be able to control your body when you attack the rim at full speed. That's part of your concentration. People assume concentration just on the rim, but your body control is everything. Be able to speed yourself up or slow yourself down.
The ball in the hands of Kyrie Irving. To Hayward. Lets it fly from long range. That's off the side of the rim, no good. To Adams. Westbrook. And drills it. Jay, spacing can be a beautiful thing. You can try and body him up, but he'll still run right through you.
It's the way he attacks that makes him so dangerous. He chips off a piece of your body one possession at a time. First is your arm, then it's your leg, and then inevitably it's your soul.
George to Westbrook. George. Oh, good offense, beating good defense.
This is a game of ways. As a defense, you have to recognize that they come and they go. That will not be the case all the time moving forward.
Play is stopped. Timeout Boston as their coaching staff wants to talk things over here in this third quarter. Time to shuffle things up.
Number 12, Terry Rozier.
Missed it. They weren't going to give that to him. Adams. Beyond the arc for three. Won't go down. Kyrie Irving controlling the offense. Brown scores him in close.
We're watching a clinic right now. We're watching basketball one-on-one. Whoever this professor is, he needs to get paid top dollar.
Westbrook. Tough make through traffic.
And I'll never forget one of my first games playing as a rookie with the Bulls. I talked to Steve Nash, and Steve Nash always used to tell me, the more you come out and you get your teammates involved, the easier it will be for you to score down the stretch. Think about it. You come out, you get 7, 8 quick assists, then a ball fake on the next possession. He bit. Easy layup.
And a pass stolen by Boston.
You go back to the principles, things that we started working on when we were in first and second.
Oh, and a putback.
And I got a chance to hear a lot of the conversation at the bench. And one of the things they called out was owning the backboards. Looks like the message is really getting through.
That's off the side of the rim, short.
Only got 3 rebounds, bro.
Here's Irving into the front court. Down a bundle. Great look and vision. And the basket good at the rim.
It just seems like nobody can stop him but him. Once he's found his offensive swag, that boy's deadly.
Westbrook with it. He'll run the offense. Here's a chance from long range. It's no good. Shot's not going down. To Irving. Going to launch. Beyond the arc. He's not shy about shooting it from out there, but he misses this time.
And there's always so much talk about defense. How about offensively? If you continue to attack that shooter, now you're making him work on the defensive end. That makes him take his legs away on the offensive end.
Kyrie with the rock. Goes to the right side. Rozier buries it on the catch and shoot.
Great shot by the offense. But the defense, you can't afford to collapse off that penetration. I'd rather a team take a tough 2 than a wide open 3.
Paul George. To Adams. A pass taken away by the Celtics. To Brown, down low. Nice pace, sets it up, and slams it down.
This is where I go back into player mode. If a dude starts to try to have 40 points on me, I'm going to foul out. I'm going to start hitting him in places he's not used to being hit. I'm trying to do anything to throw him off his game.
Irving to Rozier. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. It's Westbrook with the board.
And you knew this game had a chance to get out of hand pretty quickly because of the communication. When these guys stepped on the court, Ed, they were yapping back and forth to each other. And that kind of communication, that kind of collective responsibility to one another, you feel that on the court. That's why this team is special.
To Westbrook. To George. Fires the 3. Paul George can't get that one to go. Defense all over him. To Irving. Jumper's good.
And if you don't contest, he's knocking that down with ease.
Westbrook. And knocks it down. And Jay, the system produces once again.
For average shooters, that's not a great shot. But for a great shooter, that's a good look.
Looks like both teams are making substitutions. Trying to cash in. Gets a look. Can't hit. To Paul George. Deep left corner. Westbrook. That won't go. To Irving. Has a look. Kyrie with a shot, no good. For 3, he's been dialed in from long distance. That's now 5 threes for the game.
Nothing more painful than the next day watching tape, seeing the fact that he got 15 points off 3-point shots.
To Schroeder. Fires the 3. Can't connect. It's no good. Knocked loose. Thunder have it. Carmelo Anthony traded, but Sam Presti turns that into Dennis Schroeder.
And I love this acquisition by the Thunder. When you think about Schroeder, he is almost the opposite of what Russell Westbrook is. He is not a ball-dominant guard. He will have the ball in his hands, but he's more apt to make plays quickly with the ball than Russell, who likes to hold on to the ball towards the end of the shot clock.
Irving to Jaylen Brown. Goes to the left side. 4-3. Misfires. It's no good. To Schroeder. Add 2 points to the board.
And there's nothing more mentally intimidating for your opponent than when your own teammates are unselfish and make sure that you get the ball because they want you to drop 70 on them, maybe like Devin Booker did last year.
Drive to the basket, but the shot won't go. To Schroeder. Count it.
You know, from a point guard perspective, one of the things that I learned when I played in the league was that the more I was willing to give the ball up, the harder other players were willing to run to their spots. The harder the bigs were running to the rim. The harder the three-point shooters were running to the three-point line because they knew they could be active recipients. And when they caught the ball, they knew exactly what to do with it.
OKC ball. Westbrook to Schroeder from long range. Rebound Horford. Here comes the screen. Runner's good there.
So good to see one of Jersey's finest, Kyrie Irving, back on the court and driving with no issues on that knee. He only played 60 games last year, and he missed the entire Celtics postseason run. You can only imagine what this team would have done if he were healthy and they had Gordon Hayward.
Down.
Schroeder to Westbrook. Lets it fly from long range. Jay, he's shaking his head. The guilty party. He knows it's better to be lucky than good.
Or he knows it was just a really bad shot that just happened to go in. But sometimes when the basketball heavens drop a gift in your lap, you take it.
Now their head coach signals for a timeout. They'll regroup before the action continues.
Get down. Get down, you asshole.
Both teams tweaking their lineups. Here come some changes.
Entering the game for the Oklahoma City Thunder, number 12, Steven Adams.
Westbrook to Schroeder. Westbrook. Off the mark. No good. Yes! And a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
So many times we get on the defender for quote-unquote letting the offensive player score on an and one. Sometimes there's a lucky bounce, but more often than not, it's the offensive player who makes the play happen despite the defender's best intentions.
Russell Westbrook at the line for a chance at a three-point play. Hasn't missed yet. Missed it at the line. Irving to Jaylen Brown. Whoa, Jaylen Brown above the rim. He's been a one-man show, but Jay, they're still down in this one.
He's their lone bright star, their only star tonight. Some other of the supporting cast members really need to step up.
perfect feed to set up the basket.
Strong finish. That's what you need, regardless of contact, focusing on the rim.
Up 5 seconds. Count the basket at the rim.
He was so wide open. Pretty much looked like a deer staring into the headlights. Last resort, but still, points on the board.
Double team. Here we go.
Westbrook. Well, the hot shooting night continues. That's his 6th three-pointer of this game.
And you got to give him a lot of love. He's been knocking down shot after shot. But what is the defense thinking? Do you want to play in this game? It's probably time you start buckling down.
Time expires on the quarter, and a nice cushion for the Thunder. The Thunder have it to start the 4th quarter, and they have done no wrong to this point. They have this game well in control.
They took control early, and they never let up. The scary thing about this team, if they keep their foot on the gas and then throttle it down, they can win this game by 50.
It's the Celtics with the ball as we start this 4th and final quarter, and they've really had very little go right for them on either end of the floor.
Remember that old line, your attitude determines your altitude? Well, when you see dejected faces on the sideline, that poor body language gave you an impression that they had no chance to win this game.
Slam dunk.
I see the easy dunk, but what I don't see is energy. Scream, do something. Get yourself emotionally involved in the game.
Schroeder. And scores. Strong take.
You know, it reminds me of a story a legendary coach once told me. He said, if you ever get in a fight, you're not going to hit somebody with an open hand, correct? You'll probably break a finger. But if you hit somebody with a fist, what is that? That's 5 fingers working collectively together as one. That's how you deliver a knockout punch, and that's what we're seeing tonight.
To Schroeder. Five seconds to shoot to Adams. Using the post to his advantage there, and the finish at the rim.
I remember my high school coach said 1 man can't beat 5. Well, I'm telling you right now, he lied. I'm watching it happen in person.
Boston with the basketball. To Rozier. Can't connect.
This game is all about the small victories, though. The execution on that play was on point. You keep executing like that, those shots are going in eventually.
Oh, the touch at the rim. Count it.
He's been doing this for years. The physicality in which he plays. No one wants to see that. You're going to leave the game with black and blue marks all over your body.
Has a chance. Patterson a shot.
No, it's easy. Force guys into low percentage shots. That's the reason why we're big into stats. It was all provided to you before the game in the scouting report.
Here's Schroeder with it. His guys hold a commanding lead.
I got ball. I got some for him.
Foot was on the line. It's a turnover. New blood coming in for both sides.
Number 3, Nerlens Noel. Subbing in for the Boston Celtics, number 27.
Short jumper won't go down.
I just love where this takes you into the psychological battle as a player offensively. Was that a great contest, or did you just miss the shot? But now you have me thinking about that the entire next possession.
Rozier with it. His guys down big. Runner here won't go.
What happened is he didn't balance himself off the defender. He didn't initiate contact. He allowed the contact to initiate him. We could break that down later in the broadcast, but that's why he missed that easy chipper.
Rozier into the front court. Looking to make something happen. Ah, missed it. How'd that not go down? Felton into the front court. His guys holding the big lead. A drive, but he can't get it to go. Hayward.
So much excitement about the play, but everybody looks at the player. More people need to pay attention to the guy at the end of the bench, the strength and conditioning coach, because this kid's been putting in the time and effort every day in the weight room.
Shemi Ojale trying to cash in on a three-point play. Numbers not in his favor, 61% for his career. Free throw good, so they get the three-point play, but it's not much more than a drop in the bucket with the score right where it is. Oklahoma City's got it. Schroeder to Adams. Scores from the post.
This may sound cheesy, but sometimes you just need to sit back, get a tub of popcorn, and just enjoy the show, because that's what you're watching right now.
Horford to Rozier. Beyond the arc for three. That's off the side of the rim, no good. To George. Here's a chance from long range. Tough shot. Well defended. To Horford. Going to launch beyond the arc. That's how you defend.
And look, sometimes you don't have it going every single night. Maybe utilize yourself as a decoy and get some teammates involved with your passing.
Across the timeline, it's Rozier. Down a bundle. Shot from the lane won't go. To Schroeder. To Adams. Schroeder. Not that time. To Jaylen Brown. Won't go down. Defender's lucky he wasn't called. Down to 5. Down to 4 to shoot. Down low Adams. Nice pass to get things going.
Sometimes when the players find that flow, nobody else needs to touch the ball. He's in the zone by himself.
Now the Celtics going to use a timeout as they'll talk things over here in this fourth quarter.
We're accepting non-American fans for all us in our community. Our thanks go to those who have already participated in this community event.
Time to adjust. Both coaches making changes on the floor.
Entering the game,
Tatum
City Thunder.
buries the wide open three. That's too easy.
I know there are refs on the court all the time, but it doesn't mean they can see every play. Maybe defensively, grab his jersey, step on his toe, do something to kind of change up his pace.
To Jaylen Brown. Picked up by the Thunder. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
Well, look, you can't be caught flat-footed on defense. You need to be on the balls of your feet, especially in transition. You have to jab at that guy with the ball, hedge at him. Make him think that maybe you will take him. Maybe you'll fan out to a defender on the perimeter, but still keep him guessing. But when you don't do that, that's easy money.
Tough looking shot there. Still gets it to go down.
Well, we got a chance to firsthand watch something be created. I think we just watched an epidemic of passing. I've never seen something like this before. It was so contagious, everybody started to do it, and it ultimately led to the other team's demise.
If that's an epidemic, sign me up. George to Schroeder. Fine to shoot. Down to Adams. Shot won't go. Shot clock violation. Substitution being made in this one. Tough shot and nearly a chance at a three-point play. No foul.
You normally don't see that, but that's the type of thing that keeps shooters in the league for a long time. Every once in a while, they venture into the paint.
Paul George. To Schroeder. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. He missed his first four from downtown. He finally gets a three to go.
I'm going to tell you what every shooter thinks after he misses 4 in a row. One has to go in eventually.
Kyrie lets it go. Wide open look won't go.
You see, Ed, this is where coaches get fired. It's great to have good offensive sets, but if you can't execute, then the play was a failure.
George, textbook defense. Rozier with it. He'll run the offense and stuffs it down.
I mean, defense, is it that easy? Can I see some reaction after somebody gets an easy dunk? Some yelling, some kind of emotion? I need you to get involved back in this ball game.
Schroeder to Adams. Short jumper won't fall. Knocked loose, and that'll get out of bounds. Last touch by the Thunder. It'll stay Celtic basketball. Some lineup changes now for both clubs. He connects at the line. Irving. He's not shy about shooting it from out there, but he misses this time. Adams to Paul George. Fires the three. Paul George can't get that one to go. Defense all over him. Celtics have it. To Horford. Throws it down.
Oh, man, did you see that swiftness? He dunked that thing like a tennis ball.
It looked like that in his hand. George shakes free and hits. Jay, when you break down Paul George, where is he at his best?
He needs to be engaged. He needs to have the ball in his hands. He needs to be needed. And that's the biggest thing for Paul George. When he's the guy offensively, he makes those clutch shots. It re-engages him defensively. And that drives him to be the best version of Paul George there is.
Scores at the basket. Jay, tough recovery that time.
Attack mode isn't a switch that you can just turn on and off. He needs to do more of that. We need to see him penetrate, get into that lane, and create.
Full throttle, right to the basket for the deuce.
You know, Ed, I'm down with guys having 35, 40, maybe 50 points in the game. But the one thing you look for in the defensive end, when there's a huddle after a guy has dropped multiple buckets on you in a row, and everybody's quiet, nobody stands up and says, yo, I got him, I'm going to stop him, you're in a worrisome place for your team.
George. Off the assist.
And last year, it seemed like PG really had a difficult time finding that next-level elite PG. No doubt about it, this year, he needs to be playoff P all day, every day.
Tatum. Not that time. He misses. To Schroeder. Irving brings the ball up court. Rozier rocking the rim.
And cutting hard in transition is one of the most underrated things about this game. The harder you can cut is the more it opens up the floor to make plays just like that.
Adams to Schroeder. Works it up top. For three, it's the Celtics with the rebound. Irving to Rozier. Steven Adams rejects it. Fourth this contest.
This game is all about playing mind tricks on people. The offense is more worried about getting their shot blocked than they are about actually making the shot.
To Irving. Fires the three. That's off the side of the rim. Short. To George. 4-3. Paul George is going to get a chance at three here. A career 84% free throw shooter. Knocks down the first. Second of three is good. Perfect from the line. It's all three of them. The ball in the hands of Kyrie Irving. To Hayward. That is great vision to set it up. Runner here won't go down. To Adams. Tough make through traffic.
I was expecting the dish there, but way to fake that one and lay that one in.
So Horford trying to cash in. That's what you've come to expect. Your best players making baskets.
There's only so many times you can hide from the truth. That was horrific defense. Just got to get it back on the next possession.
George. Another chance. Basket's good on the follow. Way to stay with it. Just inside the arc. At the buzzer. Good victory here for the Thunder as they win this one in very convincing fashion. That does it. For my partner Jay Williams and our entire crew, I'm Ed Cohen. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. As we say, so long, everyone.
The Thunder put one in the win column with a solid performance. In transition is where they really did some damage. As soon as they got a stop, they were on the run and going for the easy basket. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Celtics didn't lose big, but it wasn't exactly close either. And even though some of them smiled and shook hands with the other guys after the game, you can tell by the way they headed to the tunnels how disappointed they were about this loss. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Boston Celtics.
Game track. Fast break points.
The Boston Celtics did so many things wrong when it came to defending the fast break. I'm not sure it's the kind of thing that can be fixed with a single practice, so they better get started, and soon. They were never quite able to recover from that onslaught in the first two quarters.
Player of the game.
Russell Westbrook gets the award for the most obvious reason, and that's his scoring output. He couldn't be stopped. and it was incredible to watch. Time now for the top plays of the game.
Number 2. Number 1.
These are the upcoming games for the Oklahoma City Thunder. That does it for us. On behalf of the rest of the crew, good night.